to the man who minds for miracles. This one goes out.
Giving is not about recognition. It's about making the world a better place for other people. This is Ken's motto, learned at a young age. Ken grew up in Brooklyn, New York, the second of 3 children. His parents, Sam and Cecile Feiler, instilled in their children the values of honesty and integrity. As a young teenager, Ken witnessed Sam during the high holidays pledge more than he could afford, and whispered to the man collecting the pledges, "Anonymous." Regarding this as the highest form of charity, Ken remembers the whisper of "Anonymous" as he makes many of his contributions today. Ken's father worked 6 days a week in his fruit and vegetable market. On his day off, if the Yankees were playing at home, you would usually find Sam and Ken at the game. Ken remains a devoted Yankees fan and looks back with fondness and gratitude that his father chose to spend his scarce free time with him. Reliving those experiences and carrying on the tradition, 2 years ago, Ken had the opportunity to take his father and his son Jake to a World Series game at Yankee Stadium. Ken attended the same high school in Brooklyn that was the setting for Welcome Back, Kotter, followed by a BA from the New York State University of Buffalo and a master's in hospital administration from George Washington University. Ken moved to Denver to become the CEO of Rose Medical Center after more than 10 years of hospital administration experience in Florida. Rose was founded in 1945 by a group of Denver Jewish community leaders, many of whom served as past board chairs of the Anti-Defamation League. They wanted to create a hospital that was free of discrimination and open to doctors and patients of all religions, creeds, races, and origins. When Ken came on board in 1997, Rose was in a state of turmoil. A private corporation had just purchased the hospital from the Jewish nonprofit, and many doctors were thinking about leaving, concerned that the quality of care at Rose would decline and that the hospital would lose its community identity and connection. Rose doctors Alan Feiner and Michael Charney describe how Ken quickly became Rose Medical Center's Abraham Lincoln, bringing everyone together and persuading the doctors to stay with the Rose family, resulting in Rose remaining vital to both the Jewish and broader community. Ken considers among his most lasting legacies the restoration of the hospital's Holocaust-era Torah and the hiring of Rabbi Jeffrey Kay, who not only tends to the spiritual needs of patients, but is an active participant in hospital policy decision-making, which is novel in the hospital world. Under Ken's remarkable leadership, Rose has become known for its high-quality care and superior performance, earning its designation as one of the top 100 hospitals in the United States 4 times, and received honors and awards in every meaningful category. Ken also encourages his staff to become intimately involved in the community and backs them in their philanthropic passions. A compassionate leader, Ken can be found serving food at employee appreciation lunches. He can often be heard singing in his office and is famous for his name that tune skills, no matter how old or current the song. After arriving in Denver in 1997, Ken and his wife Cheryl quickly became integral to the community. Ken served on the Rose Community Foundation's Jewish Life Committee for 6 years and joined many community boards, including the Bridge Project at the University of Denver, which provides higher education opportunities for children living in Denver's public housing neighborhoods. The Denver Jewish Day School, where Ken and Cheryl enrolled their children upon arrival in Denver, continues to be close to their hearts. Cheryl became involved in the PTO and later became board chair. On a trip to Israel to benefit the school, led by Rabbi Kay, Ken's boating skills came into question as he accidentally knocked school development director Chris Tabasco into the water while Ken navigated the raft down the Jordan River. Ken has served on the board of trustees of Shalom Cares, formerly Shalom Park, for many years. For Ken, Shalom Cares represents our community and what we stand for. Honor thy mother and thy father. Referring to Ken's contributions on the board of Young Americans Center for Financial Education, Richard Martinez Jr., the bank's CEO, says Ken represents a very strategic visionary. ADL's Gay and Barry Curtis Lusher were among the first people to welcome Ken and his family to Denver. Norm Gray was the first person to take Ken to an ADL meeting. Ken has served as a valued and highly effective counselor to the ADL. He has assisted ADL in substantive programming, as well as helping to obtain the financial resources and budget planning to bring them to fruition. Ken has taken time out of his schedule to attend with our young leaders the National Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. He was a congressional liaison for ADL for many years, giving his time to lobby for civil rights issues. Having conquered biking Loveland Pass, the Colorado MS 150 bike tour, the Triple Bypass, biking through Tuscany, Ken met his match during an Allied Jewish Federation bike trip through the Negev with his friend, Scott Primack. The ride was so brutal that Ken and Scott called in the Israeli military, actually one friend, to rescue them, and they spent the rest of the trip relaxing in Haifa. Ken also enjoys running, skiing with his family, and photography. Despite his highly demanding schedule, Ken makes family time a priority. Few people are capable of achieving the balance Ken has achieved, while remaining a pillar of the community. Ken says that working with such important organizations and important community leaders challenges him to be a better person. Although Ken may value the way that his father gave money to the synagogue anonymously, we are glad to recognize him publicly as this year's recipient of the Anti-Defamation League's Distinguished Community Service Award. Ken Feiler has earned this fitting tribute, and we are proud to recognize and honor his life of achievements, his passions, and his commitments. Thank you, Ken, for making our world a better place.